Welcome to your weekend preview with all the information you're going to need ahead of this weekend's action from across Europe's top 5 leagues. The Premier League, La Liga and Ligue 1 enter week 2, and it's a huge welcome back to the Bundesliga and Serie A that get underway this weekend. So, let's get underway. In the Premier League, world champions Chelsea face a trip to West Ham, and that's before Manchester City and Tottenham lock horns and put their 100% starts to the season on the line. Aston Villa travel to Brentford, Leeds head to Arsenal, and all eyes will be on the capital on Sunday when an emotionally charged and Eberechi Eze-less Crystal Palace take on Nottingham Forest. And that's before Manchester United head to Fulham, a team looking to pile the pressure on United boss Ruben Amorim. But there can be only one pick for my game of the weekend, and that's Monday night's clash between Newcastle United and Liverpool at St James's Park. There's far too many subplots to mention for this one, but it's ironic that the man at the centre of all of the tension between the two clubs will be sitting at home watching the game on his TV. And how amazing would it be for the Magpies if they were able to get one over on the Premier League champions without their talismanic striker? In Italy, Napoli begin their title defence on Saturday with a trip to Sassuolo, but will have to do so without striker Romelu Lukaku, who picked up a thigh injury last week in a pre-season friendly against Olympiacos. AC Milan take on Cremonese in Max Allegri's first game of his second spell as AC Milan boss, and they'll have Luka Modric to call upon for that game. And Juventus kick off their season at home to Parma. My tip for game of the weekend in Italy comes once again on Monday when Inter take on Torino at San Siro. The game will be Christian Chiavi's first game in charge of Inter, and boy does he have big boots to follow after the exit of Simone Inzaghi this summer. And there's a little matter of the summer handbags between captain Lautaro Martinez and Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Social media told us the pair had made up, but have they really? On Friday, champions Bayern kick off the Bundesliga season with a home match against RB Leipzig. Harry Kane and Luis Diaz are already looking at ominous form following their heroics in the German Super Cup last weekend. Bayer Leverkusen kick off a new era. They've lost 9 players from last season's squad and replaced Xabi Alonso with Erik ten Hag. They face Hoffenheim at home this weekend. Elsewhere, Eintracht Frankfurt host Werder Bremen and Stuttgart travel to Union Berlin. But my game of the week in Germany sees St. Pauli take on a Borussia Dortmund side who enjoyed a disappointing campaign last time round. But there'll be no let-ups this season for Niko Kovac and Dortmund, and he'll be expected to at least push Bayern all the way for the Bundesliga title. In France, PSG's game against Angers will be preceded by a trophy celebration. It's the homecoming of the European champions and all trophies will be on show. But there is a job to be done, and Angers won last week, and if PSG want to keep their 100% record, they'll need to be on guard. Elsewhere, Lyon will hope to continue their good start to the season when they face Metz. Lorient and Rennes clash in a Breton derby, and Lille take on Monaco in the big Sunday night clash. But my game of the weekend comes on Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. UK time, when Marseille take on newly promoted Paris FC at the Velodrome. How will Marseille react to such a brutal week at the club? Last week's implosion and subsequent fisticuffs led to 2 players being transfer listed this week. And while Paris FC have nothing to lose at the Velodrome this Saturday, they'll fancy their chances of pouring more doom and gloom on Roberto De Zerbi. And finally on to Spain. Real Betis kick off the weekend with a match against Alaves, and Atletico Madrid will hope to get their season up and running following last weekend's disappointing defeat at Espanyol when they take on Elche. Champions Barcelona travel to Levante, Athletic Club take on Rayo Vallecano, and Sevilla face Getafe. But my game of the week is Sunday night's clash between Real Oviedo and Real Madrid. It's a real David versus Goliath clash. And while Oviedo had a disappointing start at Villarreal last week, Real Madrid got off the mark with a 1-0 win over Osasuna on Tuesday, thanks to Kylian Mbappe. That's it from me. Enjoy the weekend's action, and I'll be back early next week with the review show.